Hey guys, J-Man here. Let's talk about Castrovalva. This is Peter Davison, the fifth Doctor. This is his first appearance. Great episode. It's one of the better first appearances. I think the best first appearance for any Doctor is probably the 11th hour, but this one is absolutely fantastic. I remember Peter Davison going back. Now I'm going back on Blu-ray and watching these, so that's going to affect some of the ratings, especially the artistry rating. I've been going back through the Blu-ray sets that have been coming out. So I owned everything, and now I'm going back and rebuying it all on Blu-ray and watching it again, sort of almost for the first time because some of it's really cool. So Castrovalva, let's talk about the story. I'm going to give the storyline a 2 out of 2. This was absolutely awesome. It's a 4-part episode, and I really do like the 4-part episodes. The first 2 parts probably could have been 1 part. There's a lot of kind of weirdness in the second part, which I'll talk about the pacing section. The story itself is fine. The regeneration has occurred. Something's wrong with it. The Doctor is not feeling well. This usually happens with a new Doctor. He wants to find the zero room in the TARDIS, and they go through the TARDIS. It's really neat, and they go deeper and deeper. It's just how large the TARDIS is inside. He actually unravels his scarf as a line so that they can follow back to the console room and find their way back. That is all really neat. So Adric is also taken by the Master, played by Anthony Ainley, and he's brilliant. And the Master is controlling him or sort of extracting his knowledge of math and stuff, because Adric's like a super smart guy in math. He's got his little star badge. So they create this kind of fake world of Castrovalva on this planet, and he guides the Doctor there, thinking that that's the place to go to relax and regenerate properly. The zero room ends up getting removed. There's a cool part where they're trying to drop mass, so that because they're crashing. The Master first wants to send him to the beginnings of time, which is really neat. So to go to the Big Bang or whatever, but in order to stop that, they have to stop the momentum of the TARDIS. So the Doctor explains you can actually remove sections of it from within and lighten it up. So that's what ends up happening. They remove rooms and everything. Really cool. I mean, that's a cool concept right there. Having Castrovalva be this like kind of made up place, and there's history books and they're written up to the day, which is kind of a neat way they figure it out. All of the stuff with like it being a maze, you can get into it, but you can't get out. It's just like they have this great map, and he's like, okay, draw me a map. He's like, okay, where's your drugstore? He's like, well, it's here. Well, also it's here and here. And he's like, well, how could it be everywhere? He's like, yeah, that's weird, because all paths are connected is really cool. This was a really awesome story. The pacing, I'm going to give it a 1, which means that it was okay. The pacing was okay. Doctor Who Classic is slower paced in general. If you've seen my John Pertwee reviews, who I love John Pertwee, you can see that there is definitely a lot of taking your time to develop these stories. This one should have probably been 3 parts, 1 part too many, and it's a little bit slow in part 2 because there's not a heck of a lot going on. Part 1, you're kind of just like figuring out what's going on. That there's the TARDIS thing. The pacing, I'm not bored. So if I give it a 1 out of 2, I'm not saying I'm bored. I'm just saying that it should have been cut a little bit quicker, but still really, really good. And now the rest of the categories are going to be stellar because the artistry, I'm also giving a 2 out of 2. Look, Doctor Who, when you're watching classic Doctor Who, you know in your mind that, they always say, there's the wobbly sets and all this kind of crap, which isn't really true. It looks pretty good. It looks as good as it's going to look with the time constraints and the budget constraints of the BBC. And if you've watched any making of Doctor Who stuff, you know that they're under massive pressure to get this stuff done. It's a lot of dialogue. It's a lot of weird techno-babble stuff that you've got to just kind of say. Like half the time I'm like, man, imagine you got to memorize that. And if you don't get it on the first or second take, they're like, okay, we got to move on. So just hurry it, It's very difficult. So with all of that, I think this looks really cool. I especially like the effect of having Castrovalva, there's a great shot where they look at it further away and it's like all jumbled up. It's like one of those paintings, and you've seen these before, those sort of optical illusion paintings where there's staircases going all these different ways, and it's very famous. You'll definitely know what I'm talking about. And they did that with like the entire kind of castle. Super cool. Let's talk about Peter Davison's outfit, the cricket outfit. I like it. I think it's really neat. Tom Baker, of course, is your sort of your standard textbook doctor. It's like, yes, Tom Baker, Tom Baker scarf and all that. And I've got the scarf, 2 versions of it. I love that, but I kind of like this outfit. It feels lighter. It's just maybe because the colors is the white and the sort of the beige. It just feels very comfortable, and it's like, I like, if I was going to cosplay, I'd probably do 5 or 6, to be honest. I might do 6 because it's so crazy. I love 6's outfit. But this is a great kind of fun outfit. It's very iconic, so I do love that. Let's talk about the characters, which I'm giving a 2 out of 2. First of all, Tegan and Nyssa do a lot of heavy lifting, physically and metaphorically. They got to carry the doctor around in that cabinet, which is super funny. I really liked them a lot in this one, particularly. They seem to have done a lot more. Tegan steps up a bit more. I found her pretty irritating in the past, where she's like, oh, I want to go back to Heathrow, and that got very irritating. That is not really present in this one. She's just doing stuff, and she actually says the doctor is my responsibility. Great. Nyssa, I've always loved Nyssa from the beginning. She's very cool. I like that she has some knowledge of tech and everything, so she's not completely just useless. She actually can do stuff. She's awesome. Adric, unfortunately, gets the short end. This happens quite often with this sort of crowded TARDIS, where you have all of these guys, kind of all these companions. Really, the Doctor should be alone with one companion. That's sort of your best. Maybe 2, maybe. You could definitely drop Adric from this, or maybe even drop Tegan and had Adric and think, or I kind of 5 and Nyssa would have just is perfect for me. Just the 2 of them is fine. He doesn't do a lot. He's kind of trapped in this web thing, but whatever. He's still good. He's not annoying or anything like that. And Anthony Ainley is friggin' awesome as the Master. He's a lot of fun. Roger Delgado is, of course, the textbook awesome best Master, but Anthony Ainley is great. For the enjoyment factor of this, I want to talk about the other characters too. There's other side characters in this, and they're very good. They're made up by the Master, and it's all kind of an illusion, but they're very cool characters. And the guy's name is the Portreeve. He was really neat. Now, of course, that ends up being the Master, which I could not tell. Talk about artistry. If that was Anthony Ainley, I could not tell. And I'm still not even sure if that was Anthony Ainley. I didn't check the credits, so let me know in the comments. But yeah, he was great. That sort of the librarian guy was really good too. How they're questioning things like, yes, something's off with this place. He almost made them too smart, where they don't believe their own surroundings. Really neat. But yeah, so the enjoyment factor is a big time 2 out of 2. This is a friggin' awesome episode. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10 easy. You can call it a 10 if you want to give it, if you just want to say it's a 10 because it's a 10. It's really damn good. One of the best intro episodes for any Doctor. So I'm doing a lot more Doctor Who stuff now, and in more positive Doctor Who stuff. So make sure you check out the Doctor Who playlist. Let me know your thoughts on this one in the comments. And yeah, going to continue on with Peter Davison. Let's see how it goes. Until next time.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.